Hello and welcome to a quick tour of Microsoft Bookings. You can access Microsoft Bookings by getting on Office 365, so you can do that by office.com online or just by the Office 365 program, the desktop version. Bookings is right here. If you have never used Bookings before, you're probably going to have to go to the All Apps tab right here, and then you find the thing that looks like a V. Um, So bookings right there. So if you sign in as the Marian University Writing Center, so Writing Center at marian.edu, when you get on Office 365, it will take you automatically to this page right here, and this is our main page. We do have three of them because we do have three locations at the Marian University Writing Center. And you can find them by scrolling all the way down to the bottom and seeing these pages right here. So we have the Planner Community Writing Center and St. Joseph's College at Marian University Writing Center. They have different parameters based on their schedules and their needs. So all of the things that we talk about now within the Marian University Writing Center, which is actually the Mother Teresa Hacklemeyer Memorial Library location, will look slightly different in those, but they are specifically catered for those spaces. So here we have the home page. This demonstrates some additional features. There's a place where we can pull data via a TSV file. This tells us how many bookings we've made. It tells us how much revenue we've brought in, which is always going to be $0 because we don't charge for our services. And it tells us how many customers we have booked over the past 30 days, just right from that screen right there. If you go next, you have the calendar that shows you all of your staff that work within this schedule and the availability that they have on this day. So you can find new days by doing this. You can also actually book appointments within this calendar by selecting new booking or by simply clicking on the schedule here and filling in the appropriate data. Now we go to the bookings page. Bookings page is where you have all of those external facing kind of like look and feel things going on. This is the link to get to our bookings page. So if you wanted to send somebody a link, you can automatically email it to them. You can blast it out on Facebook or on Twitter. You can also copy the link and just send it to somebody or put it in a document if need be. So you can we do not require Office 365 because that allows us to book with any user. We also have taken the Marian University Style Guide RGB values and input them as our RGB values to make sure that our color scheme lines up with the university. We have decided on 30-minute time increments with you can book up to 365 days in advance, and you can book up to the day of the appointment as well. So additionally, coming down here, you can make some specifications on the process of booking. Customers tab allows you to see all the people whom you have worked with so far in Microsoft Bookings. The staff is where you manage staff, including things such as their availability. Right in here, this is where you would input schedules. So you also need to click here to notify the staff via email when a booking assigned to them is changed or created. And then this is where you can assign things like color and fun things like that too. Services. This is really the kind of like power section of Microsoft Bookings. This is where you can do things like assign services. So for instance, right now we're talking about all services for the College of Osteopathic Medicine students. Sue Blackwell works primarily with those students, so we have only checked her, but if we wanted to, we can check any of the people who are available. So we have our location here, the description of what type of writer would take that service, the default time, any additional internal notes, And right down here we have reminders, and finally right here, this is where it's really at. So this is a place where you can decide what questions get asked to specific types of users. So all of the check marks in here are the types of questions that get asked of medical students, whereas the available questions you can see are far, far greater. So what ends up happening is, we'll take a look at the business information. This is where you put in the schedule itself for the time period. It's also where you put in the phone number, email address, our website, and where you add in the logo. So let's go to the published page and see how that categorization ends up working in real life. So once somebody, an end user, clicks on our bookings link, so that link that we were talking about that we could send somebody, that will also go on our marian.edu/writing-center page. When somebody clicks on it, it will bring them directly here. There is no sign-in information or anything else necessary. So let's go ahead and select College of Osteopathic Medicine. This works in 3 sections. So that first section, you decide what type of writer you are. And in the second section, it limits to whomever is available to work with those writers. So for instance, we saw earlier that Sue is the only one available to work with medical students. If we had clicked someone else in there and clicked save, then additional names would pop up in this list. But since Sue is the only one, she's the only one that comes up in that list. However, if I select community writer, something for which we have a lot more people available, you tend to see a lot more names. And then as we change the dates, you see who is available on those dates. So then you can scroll down and put in your personal information. And as you can see, since we're on Community Writer, the questions are a little bit different than they are if you are, for instance, a medical student. Once you have completed everything that does not say optional, everything is required except for the things that say optional, you click Book, and that will automatically create an email or an Outlook appointment for both the writer and the tutor, as well as sending an email to the Writing Center, which will be automatically sorted into the appropriate bookings section. So that has been a brief tour of Marian University Writing Center's Microsoft Bookings page. It's very, very intuitive from an end user perspective, and really knowing absolutely nothing except how to click a link, you can make it through scheduling yourself an appointment. So I hope this has been informative and helpful, and thank you very much for coming along with me on this all-encompassing tour of Microsoft Bookings.